Welcome to The Reaction, our new show that gives you the immediate reaction after the biggest games that have happened around Europe and around the world. Now, obviously tonight was all about the Champions League final between Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain, which saw the Germans beat the Parisians to become the champions of Europe. And what a game it was. Not necessarily a Champions League final classic, however, it did have its moments. And we have to start with Bayern Munich, the winners, who just before the game had kicked off started their lineup and had dropped Perisic, who had a pretty good performance against Lyon, and instead replaced him with Kingsley Coman. And what a decision that was, obviously because Kingsley Coman went on to score the winning goal in the 1-0 victory for them. But anyway, let's talk about them tonight, because from the off, as usual, we saw the Bayern Munich high press and the Bayern Munich high line, which personally, and I think many others at home may agree, I thought may see them be punished, because they play such a high line and don't necessarily have the quickest players in Jerome Boateng. That's where I thought players like Kylian Mbappe, players like Di Maria and Neymar would really tear them apart. However, it didn't break them. They were able to kind of cope with it. And even the midfield, the Bayern Munich midfield compared to the PSG midfield is just not a match at all. Players like Leon Goretzka, Thiago were unbelievable tonight, whereas players like Paredes actually didn't have a bad game. He played a few fantastic balls through to the likes of Mbappe and Neymar, but they just was no match for Thiago and Goretzka. Now, in terms of chances, Bayern Munich did have more. However, it felt that PSG had more quality chances, ones that could have resulted in a goal more often. Bayern had a Lewandowski header saved by Navas, another Lewandowski shot hit the post, and that was really it, to be honest. Apart from Kingsley Coman's 58th minute goal, there wasn't really much to rave about in terms of chance creation. It wasn't necessarily the Bayern Munich performance that we saw against Barcelona or even Chelsea, where they were just always firing it off at the net and creating unbelievable chances. That's why it was probably a low scoring result. Only one goal was scored, whereas normally we're used to seeing them score so many more. Now, I mentioned that PSG had some big chances throughout the game. The first 10 minutes was a bit slow for them. It was all Bayern Munich, but after that is where it really came in. Mbappe had two quite early on in the first half. Neymar, in the 17th minute, has a brilliant ball played by Paredes. And Manuel Neuer pulls off a fantastic save, a double save in fact. And that was kind of it for PSG. They continued to have chances and Manuel Neuer would save them, or it would be blocked, or they just wouldn't take it. Mbappe had one where it came to him inside the box and he had a whole goal to choose and he puts it straight at Manuel Neuer. And they were also targeted defensively. Now, I actually thought the PSG defence had a decent game. Thiago Silva and Kimpembe, I thought did pretty well, especially under a lot of pressure, the constant Bayern Munich pressure. Not necessarily from them having shots, but from them passing the ball left to right, and whipping in crosses. That was it. It seemed as if Hansi Flick had told them that PSG couldn't handle crosses. It was just the same thing throughout the game. In the 66th minute, Di Maria plays a great ball into the box. Mbappe leaves it to kind of dummy the keeper, so it goes in the bottom corner, and Neuer makes a simple save. 69th minute, Marquinhos is kind of one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Neuer makes a save. It was either Manuel Neuer making a brilliant save, or them just failing to finish their dinner. So I think it's time to move on to our key players. Now for PSG, it's quite simple. It's obviously Mbappe and Neymar. And on the ball, they're both fantastic. Both of them creating chances, both of them dribbling past their man, but both of them failing to finish their dinner. And it's quite worrying to an extent to see how much PSG rely on them. Di Maria chips in a little bit. Icardi didn't feature today, but it very much seems like the plan is give the ball to Mbappe or Neymar in the Champions League, this is anyway, and let them do it. We kind of saw it against Atalanta as well, that they needed Mbappe to come on to help them out. But at the same time, it makes sense, right? If you're going to pay so much money for these two superstars, of course they are going to be your main creators, your main outlay. But today, they just weren't at the races. As for Bayern Munich, well, it's got to be Kingsley Coman and Manuel Neuer. Now, Coman, as we said earlier, did start slow, but he was chosen over Perisic, I believe, for his pace. And we saw that when he really got into the game. He continued to take on Kira, the right back, for PSG and beat him several times, delivering balls into the box and testing that PSG back line. There were several there that Lewandowski almost got a head onto as well. He was there most importantly for the header to head home the ball for the only goal after losing his defender. And I've mentioned him a few times, and I kind of feel like maybe I'm repeating myself slightly, but maybe that just emphasises how important Manuel Neuer was. Today, he didn't necessarily have to make unbelievable saves where he was diving and kind of camera saves, but they were the ones that were one-on-one, it's you versus the player, and he was making himself big. Even when Mbappe had a chance in the 90th plus minute, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he still made the save. Mbappe was offside, but he didn't know that, and that would knock someone's confidence ridiculously, where you're looking at Manuel Neuer, this brick wall continuously through the years as well. Just continue to save everything, which is what we saw today. Now we move on to our key moments in the game. We've mentioned a few already, but the first one had to come in the 21st minute when Davies, who's been unbelievable throughout this tournament, it's ridiculous to think he's only 19 years old, plays the ball into the box, as we said, testing that PSG back line, and it coming down to Lewandowski, who controlled it and hit the post. Now, 58th minute, Kingsley Coman scores that header. It's a lovely ball into the box by Goretzka, just outside of the penalty area. Places it fantastically, and Kingsley Coman, to be fair, does brilliant. Loses his man, has a fantastic header and slots it home. We spoke enough about that one. But what could have happened, though, is PSG could have been given a penalty. In the 71st minute, Mbappe brings the ball into the box. He's starting to look more into his element here. He's taken on his man a lot easier. And he's brought down by Kimmich. Not grabbing him, but he's kicked in the back of his heel. It looks like that he catches the ball. However, it's a little bit suspect. It was revealed that VAR did not look at it and that the referee was in a great position to see it. PSG didn't complain. None of the players went up into the referee's faces and no one claimed anything at all. But it was a little bit odd. I'd like to know your opinion on that one as well. But yes, that's basically the game. Now we move on to what's next for both teams. We start with Bayern Munich, the winners. And look, they've obviously been the best team in the tournament over this year. I was lucky enough to see them play against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge before the lockdown had happened. And it was immense. Thiago was ridiculous, dropping in between the two centre-backs, picking up the ball, pinging it wherever he wanted. Alphonso Davies, arguably the star of the tournament, picking up the ball on the left-hand side. His pace, stupid. It's ridiculous how quick that man is. Or that teenager is. He's younger than me, which is frightening to think about, to be quite honest. Hansi Flick as well. What a man. Comes in halfway through the season, wins the treble in his first season. That's unheard of at times. It's a brilliant achievement, and he's made the team play fantastic football. If anything, he's given himself a harder time for next season. When he's won the treble in his first, he's going to have to be at least winning 2 trophies. And finally, I can't even really say that they need to go and buy new players because the squad is so impressive. The depth in every position is unbelievable with the amount of colour they've got. Leroy Sané from Manchester City is joining as well, that attack, which is frightening. The only possible concerns I could maybe mention is if Thiago leaves, which looks quite likely and most likely to Liverpool, which is also frightening, that they're going to need someone to replace him. But that being said, the easy thing is put Kimmich back into midfield and bring in Pavard. As for PSG, well, it's kind of sad. This was meant to be their turning point. This is what they'd essentially been trying to build towards since they'd brought in players like Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva originally, and along with Cavani, to Neymar and Mbappe now. They've had so many chances where they were obviously beating Barcelona all those years ago and failed that, or bottled that per se. I don't necessarily feel like they've bottled this final. However, they're in a situation now. Mbappe and Neymar are obviously world-class talents, but if they want to win the Champions League, they may have to look elsewhere. Both of their contracts run out in 2022, and so they've only got 2 years left at the club. And even then, if PSG want to make any money from the sales of them, they're most likely going to have to sell them after the season coming, so next summer, which means they've only really got 1 year left to win this illustrative, is that the word? Illustrative Champions League. So it's not over just yet. They may have a busy summer. They have at least 1 more year, 1 more run at the Champions League next season to try and win it. And they've been unfortunate partly. If they were better today or put away their chances, it's a completely different game. If Mbappe or Neymar takes one of their several chances, we're talking about PSG finally winning the Champions League. But that's how football works sometimes. Can't have it all. I hope you guys have enjoyed the reaction. Please let me know your thoughts on the Bayern Munich PSG game below. Should PSG have done better? Was it Mbappe and Neymar's fault? Or were Bayern Munich just too good? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you actually have really enjoyed this video, please like it. It means the world to us and actually shows us that you have enjoyed it and want to see more of this content. I'll see you very soon. See you later.